Hey guys, welcome to my legal classes. This is Ganesh Pujari, and in my today's class we are going to discuss a dozen of features that are related to Probation of Offenders Act 1958. Why to waste time? Let's get into the first slide. The very intention of the act is to reform the amateur offenders. What happens if those offenders, the first time offenders, if we are keeping them with the other criminals who are in jail, then these guys may turn into stubborn criminals over a period of time. To avoid that, the act provides an opportunity to rehabilitate in the society itself and avoids the environmental influence. That is the first feature of this particular act. And the second feature is release of first time offenders if they have committed any offense under 379, 380, 381, 404 or 420 of IPC, which are basically dealing with theft, misappropriation and cheating. And observe that all those having less than 2 years of punishment or fine or both, the court can give opportunity for those offenders under this particular act. That is the second feature. The third feature is the court is empowered to release the offenders on probation of good conduct, but for such offenses the punishment should not be death or life imprisonment, and while they were given the probation they will be under observation. That is the third feature. And fourth feature, the court may ask the offender to make some payment that may be towards the cost of proceedings or maybe to pay the compensation to the victim. Now, the amount whatever court is imposing, that should be reasonable. That is the fourth feature. With that, I am moving on. This act gives protection for those first time offenders who are below 21 years, who have not committed any offense which is punishable with death or life imprisonment, or those first offenders who may be above 21 years but they are not guilty of any offense which is punishable with more than 7 years of imprisonment. That is the fifth feature. And the sixth feature is power of the court to vary the conditions of bond. The timeline here is 3 years, and court got the power to vary the conditions of the bond based on every individual and the circumstances and the kind of offense he has committed, and such period is based on the good conduct of that particular probationer. The seventh condition is on failure of condition of bond. What happens? Court can issue warrant of arrest or summons for both him, that means the probationer, or his sureties, and requiring them to attend to the court on the date and time specified in the summons. That is the power available with the court, which is the seventh feature. And eighth one, the court can also try and sentence the offender to imprisonment under the provisions of this act. It is not that the probationer or the offender got the right to probation. It is the right of the court to decide whether to give probation or not, which is the eighth feature. The next very important feature of this particular act is there are probationer officer under this particular act who will observe the probationer, and they will advise and assist the probationers as and when there is a requirement, and then they will also help them getting certain suitable jobs. So these are the ninth feature of this particular act. And the 10th feature is probation is not a matter of right, it is the court discretion. No one can say that I have done this crime for the first time so I will get probation. No, it is court discretion based on certain circumstances and other stuff, which is also my 11th feature, which says circumstances and environment of the crime will be considered, why such crime is being committed or why offender has to be in that particular scenario. All those stuff will be seriously looked into, and then the court will decide whether to give probation or not. When I am discussing the powers of the court under section 3 to 13, I will give in detail or in-depth knowledge on how the court has got the discretion. So what you need to do is there will be 5 or 6 videos. You have to watch all the videos to get a complete picture of this particular act, and this is one of the most simplest act, which is just having 19 sections. I think that's about the 11 features. I said a dozen, but there are 7 features I have brought in. I hope that is sufficient for the purpose of exam. With that, I'm concluding this particular video. Wait for my other videos on objects, the power of the court or the powers and duties of probationer officers, the difference between parole and the probation. All those stuff will be discussed in my channel. Please go to the playlist of Juvenile Justice and Probation of Offenders Act in a single playlist so that you get all the videos. Thank you so much for watching me. All the very best for your exams. Please subscribe my channel and like, share and comment my videos. Thank you so much for watching me.